Running backs still run fantasy football, and the question is, who's going to carry you to a week 1 win and who's going to leave you stuck in the mud? Let's break down the running back rankings for week 1. What is going on, Headliner Nation? My name is Brad, the Rankings King, and today we're breaking down our top 30 running backs for week 1 of fantasy football. Now, there's a lot of hype going into the start of the season, but this is not the time to get cute. Now, every week, we're going to be posting quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end rankings right here on the channel. But if you find yourself wanting more, be sure to become a channel member by hitting that join button just below the video. Members also get kicker, defense, and flex rankings that you don't want to miss. Plus, it gets you into our Discord, which is next level. So, enough of all that. We're going to dive right into our Tier 1 running back rankings. Tier 1, we've got the elite running backs. That's Saquon Barkley, Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, Christian McCaffrey, and Derrick Henry. First up, we've got Saquon Barkley, and last year's RB1 overall and defending Super Bowl champion, he gets a chance to kick off the NFL season at home on primetime TV against a Dallas team that just lost its best player on defense, Micah Parsons. Give me Saquon at number 1 this week. Next up, we've got Bijan Robinson, and when these two teams play, that's Tampa Bay we're talking about, we usually get a lot of points scored. And in the 2 games last year, they averaged 61.5 points per game. And so we always try to start our studs in those high-scoring games. And Bijan, with his pass-catching upside, keeps him at number 2. Next up, we've got Jahmyr Gibbs. This matchup was easier a week ago, and now Green Bay welcomes Micah Parsons, and he will make an impact. But Gibbs still scored 10-plus fantasy points in all but 1 game last season and had just under 2,000 total yards and 20 touchdowns. That's a lock for the top 3. Next up, we've got Christian McCaffrey going against the Seahawks, and everybody knows that when he's healthy and when he plays, he scores fantasy points. And right now in week 1, he's healthy and he's playing, and so he starts in Tier 1. Next up, we've got Derrick Henry facing Buffalo, and he's faced off against Buffalo twice last year and ended up with 293 total yards and 3 touchdowns. The Bills are solid on defense, but it does not seem like Derrick Henry cares. So that's rounding out Tier 1. In Tier 2, we've got Ashton Jeanty, Bucky Irving, Jonathan Taylor, Josh Jacobs, Devon Achane, Chase Brown, Kyron Williams, James Conner, James Cook, Kenneth Walker III, Chuba Hubbard, and Aaron Jones Sr., a loaded Tier 2. First, we've got Ashton Jeanty going against the New England Patriots, and this is all about volume and the fact that this game could remain close. Vegas has the spread at 2.5 points, and if Jeanty can rack up close to 20 touches, he should be in the RB1 mix. Next, we've got Bucky Irving going against the Atlanta Falcons, and Tampa projects to be one of the highest scoring teams in the league this year. And in a matchup where many points are expected, that's going to boost the touchdown opportunities for Bucky. We like him at number 7. Number 8, we've got Jonathan Taylor going against the Miami Dolphins, and this is really about 2 things. Indy's going to need to keep the ball away from the Miami offense, and Daniel Jones is, shall we say, what you would call a below average quarterback. How do you keep the ball away from Miami and take pressure off of Jones? You run the ball a lot. Jonathan Taylor right at number 8. Josh Jacobs going against Detroit, and this shouldn't be an easy matchup for Jacobs, but with all the wide receiver talent pulling defenders out of the box, it should open running lanes for Jacobs again. And in their 2 games last year, he had 174 total yards and 3 touchdowns against Detroit. Next up, we've got Devon Achane, and all signs point to him being good to go off of the calf injury. But if Miami can get a 2-score lead late, don't be surprised if we see more Ollie Gordon to keep Achane from re-aggravating his injury. We just hope that he has points by then. Next up, we've got Chase Brown going against Cleveland, and we know that Cleveland's been a wreck on offense for years, but their defense, it still remains tough. And last year in the 2 games against the Browns, Chase Brown had a total of 162 yards and no touchdowns. And so it's hard to expect a ton from him this week. Next up, we've got Kyron Williams. Now, Houston isn't some kind of pushover matchup, but this Rams offense will once again give him touchdown chances. And over the last 2 years, he's tied for the most touchdowns in the NFL and leads all running backs with carries inside of the 5-yard line. Next up, we've got James Conner going against New Orleans, and this may be one of the only games all year that the Cardinals find themselves as the favorites. This New Orleans offense could be bad, like really bad. And we know that when Arizona gets a lead, they rely heavily on James Conner, especially when he's healthy. Hey, can I offer you a little bit of James Cook going against Baltimore? Listen, this is going to be a tough matchup against Baltimore. And one of Cook's worst games in 2024 came against the Ravens. But these two offenses can go score for score with each other, so there should be plenty of running all game long. Next up, we've got Kenneth Walker going against San Francisco, and even though the 49ers have a solid defense, I wouldn't consider them to be dominant like in the past. Walker was able to find the end zone in both matchups against them last year, and with this new Seattle offense, expect a lot of running. Next up, we've got my Carolina Panthers, Chuba Hubbard, and everyone expects this Carolina offense to pick up where it left off in 2024. And sure, Carolina brought in some other backs, but Chuba averaged just under 20 touches a game last season and now starts off 2025 with a decent matchup. Next up, we've got Aaron Jones Sr., and it's no doubt that Chicago is a team on the rise. But last season, Aaron Jones went over 100 total yards and scored a touchdown in each game against them. Jordan Mason may be in the mix, but Jones is still the option number 1 in this run game, and he rounds out tier 2 for us. Before we jump into the rest of the tiers, let me ask you a question. Do you have an account on Underdog? Because we're going to be dominating those player pick'ems this year, and now is the time that you need to sign up. Head over to Underdog Fantasy or download the app, create a new account, and use the code HEADLINERS when you do so. Then just make your initial deposit and come join a contest. You're also going to get a first-time deposit bonus and a free player pick'em. And Jake is also going to be breaking down the best picks weekly in a show on Fridays. Links to join are in the description, and we look forward to playing with you in 2025. All right, let's move on to tier number 3. These are some reliable running backs you can put into your RB2 slot, and we've got Alvin Kamara, Omarion Hampton, David Montgomery, DeAndre Swift, Isaiah Pacheco, Travion Henderson, Breece Hall, and Tony Pollard. First up, we've got Alvin Kamara, and he still has to be the only piece in this offense that we really have much interest in. The quarterback play, guys, could be really bad, and check down running backs are a quarterback's best friend. The touchdown upside might not be there, but with 10-plus weekly targets, he's a solid RB2 option. Next up, we've got Omarion Hampton, and really this is all about Najee Harris. Harris has spent most of the offseason looking like a pirate, but now he's practicing, and Harbaugh is saying that he could play week 1. Until we see it, this is where we've got to put Hampton just inside the top 20. Coming in at number 20, we've got David Montgomery going against Green Bay, and Monty is going to be interesting this year again. He will remain somewhat touchdown dependent, but Detroit scores so much that he should be able to have the opportunity. And he also scored 10-plus fantasy points in each of their matchups last season. Next, we've got DeAndre Swift going against Minnesota, and the Vikings are a tough week 1 draw for Swift. In both of their games last year, they held Swift to under 90 total yards, and he failed to score a touchdown. But we know that this offense is improved, and the boost to the O-line only helps him this year. Next up, we've got Isaiah Pacheco, and he should finally be fully healthy and leading the backfield again. But how much is Kareem Hunt still going to be used in this offense? The upside lies with Pacheco, and that's why he's in the top 24, but the ceiling is limited by Hunt for now. Coming in at 23, we've got Travion Henderson, and this preseason firecracker flew up draft boards. He has a solid matchup against the Raiders, but the question is, how involved is Ramondre Stevenson going to be to start the season? And until we see the split for ourselves, we have to keep him as a low-end RB2. Next up, we've got Breece Hall going against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we hate this for Breece, but he's stuck in a split backfield with Braylon Allen, and the rushing volume that's going to be going the way of Justin Fields just simply limits his ceiling. Plus, no one knows what to expect from this Jets team that may struggle with scoring points. Coming in at number 25, we've got Tony Pollard, and with Tyjae Spears hurt, we could see a lot from Pollard. The matchup against Denver to start the season isn't a good one, though, and Denver is going to be one of the league's best defenses this year, and if Tennessee falls behind, they're not going to be able to run. All right, moving on to tier number 4, we've got Tyrone Tracy Jr., J.K. Dobbins, Jerome Ford, Jaylen Warren, and Austin Eckler. First, we've got at 26, Tyrone Tracy Jr., and we know that the Giants' offense has to be better than last season. Washington is going to have to at least think about the passing game this week, and I do feel like the Washington defense is underrated, and that's got Tracy a little bit lower. Next up at 27, we've got J.K. Dobbins. And listen, we love some R.J. Harvey around here, but there's no real way of knowing how this split is going to go until after week 1. People hate Dobbins, but he was one of the most efficient runners last year, and Sean P. can run a 2-man backfield, and so this is going to be a fun one to keep our eyes on. Next up, we've got Jerome Ford coming in at 28, and it sounds like Quinshon Judkins could be on his way to the team, but this week, Ford has his first shot at volume in Cleveland, and it's a great matchup against Cincinnati, so we just need a close game to have Ford be a solid choice for week 1. Next up, we've got Jaylen Warren, and no one knows exactly what to expect in the Pittsburgh running game. And why is that? Well, it's because of Arthur Smith and the fact that Pittsburgh is going to be cycling in Caleb Johnson and Kenneth Gainwell as well. So that's why we've got Jaylen Warren at the bottom of tier 4. And rounding out tier 4, we've got Austin Eckler going against the Giants. And guys, this backfield could be a headache to start the season. So many people love Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, but Eckler will more than likely get the majority of touches at the start of the season. Still, this is going to be a split nightmare to start. And so that shows you how deep the running back pool is this year. And even after the top 30, we've still got some solid players right on the fringe. And here are the guys that are on the outside looking in. Tank Bigsby, Travis Etienne Jr., R.J. Harvey, Caleb Johnson, Nick Chubb, Jordan Mason, Javonte Williams, Rachaad White, Zach Charbonnet, and Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. So that's the full rundown of your week 1 running back rankings from Saquon at the top all the way through the tiers and the outside looking in. Guys, the running back pool is loaded this year, and so we want to hear it. Who's ranked too high? Who's ranked too low? Which sleeper are you sneaking into your lineup this week? Make sure to drop all your hot takes below. We're going to answer as many questions as we can. Hit the like button and subscribe so you're locked in with all of our quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end rankings every week. Come on, Headliner Nation. Let's get it. We'll see you at the next video.
Analytics off the chain, all the channels not the same. Jake and Kyle, you know the name. Headliner Nation, we running the game.